Bob Weir, and I write for the Cross Timbers Gazette newspaper and online paper, which is distributed throughout several towns and cities in Denton County. And today we're going to be talking about a radio station for Denton County. We currently do not have a Denton County radio station. So I have some guests here today that are about to open the first Denton County radio station. So let me begin by introducing Richard Witkowski and his grandson Patrick Mullaney. And they have a background in communications and in radio, so I'm going to go over a couple of questions to them. But first, let me just ask Richard to give us a little information about your background.
Okay, since 1978, I have owned and operated about 33 AMs and FMs and one TV station throughout this general part of the United States, and have focused primarily on local broadcast interest. In other words, we program to the people in the community in which we're licensed because that's how you build an audience. The content of a local radio station determines how successful you're going to be. So we're going to program to the 750,000 people in Denton County that don't have a local radio station at this point in time.
And Patrick, what is your background?
Well, generally, I guess in communications, I started kind of early, I suppose, when I was in high school. I guess before that I was into audio when I was like a kid. But in high school I got to go through a great media program through the Dell Jackson Career Center that LISD offers. And then I went to college and did some communication work there, and then I went to work for my granddad at one of his radio stations in South Texas for 3 years, and learned quite a bit doing it. It was a lot of fun.
And when this radio station is established, what will the format be like?
It will be programmed strictly to the interests of the listeners inside of Denton County. We're not going to have a country western format or a this or a that. It's going to be local musicians, giving them a chance to show their goods on the radio. It's going to be covering local events and local sports and church live church broadcast and the mayor in the morning on Monday type of thing. So everybody that listens to it is going to find out what their other cities, 30 cities in Denton County, are doing.
So you'll have a lot of mayors that will be...
They may be fighting over time or something.
Well, we like that. That's what it's about.
That's right, because it's informative, and people will be looking forward to the mayor of their particular town or city. Now, this will be a 24/7 station, so it's open all the time, and it's an FM station, I understand, correct?
Well, we may close the doors at 5, but we'll stay on the air.
Okay, so it's 104.1 FM.
Yes.
And the fact is that your target audience will actually be everyone in Denton County.
Absolutely.
You have 770,000 residents in the county, and up to this point, when they turn on the radio, they're listening to radio stations in Dallas or Fort Worth,
That's right.
so forth. Now, this will be a more community-oriented, if you will, or
Correct.
county-oriented. So
That's
you'll
correct.
be able to cover, I suppose, sporting activities, football games.
We'd like to do some of the high school football games and that sort of thing. It seems like, sort of you have a lot of the radio stations, I guess, focus on sort of the Dallas Metroplex, and then I think it loses some of the granularity that you would get from specific locations. I mean, you have 750,000 people in Denton County, and no radio station specifically serves their interests, and that's kind of what we're looking to do. Our signal doesn't go too much further out of the Denton County area. It's mainly in the northern Dallas area, and we have the best signal in Denton County, and that's what we like to focus our interests.
And also, I suppose you'd have a lot of information for the community when it comes to emergency situations.
Yes.
I suppose the people who may be riding in their cars and listening to the radio, if they're listening to a Denton radio station and there are some emergency situations going on in Denton, whether it's a natural or man-made, you'd be able to get that on the air quickly, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So this would be very informative.
Immediate news.
Well, look, it looks like this could be a very exciting opportunity, and the fact that so many people don't even realize, I suppose, that they don't have a Denton County radio station. And I didn't know it myself. And
Well, not one that serves their interests.
not one, right, to serve their interests more directly.
No.
That's correct. So, is there anything else that you'd like to say about this? This is just a short video, and there'll be a write-up along with this, but what else would you like to add, if anything?
Well, I think the thing I'd like to add is that back in 1938, there was a local radio station here. Shep Shepherd had one that was on 1440 AM. And it was a very successful local radio station, and I knew him quite well, and I used to go to broadcasting conventions with him, and I knew how important what he was doing for the community was. And then after FM came along, he filed for an FM 106.1, which is still licensed to Denton, but it transmits from Cedar Hill, and it's a Dallas-Fort Worth radio station. His station that was on 1440, whose studios were on Hickory just off of the square for 40 years, is moved to Garland, Texas, and it's 25,000 watts, and it does Spanish Christian. And the FCC has allowed a lot of these local radio stations in places like Munster and different towns around, Bowie, to move into Dallas, and where they can get a large audience and generate a lot of revenue for the big broadcasters.
And so, when this radio station opens, where will it be based? Where will the office be located, the station?
We're not sure right now, but we think it's going to be near or on the square in Denton because it's so centrally located.
I see. All right, well, I guess that's enough information for right now, and we'll be looking forward, I know I will, and a lot of other residents will be looking forward to hearing more about this, and when you actually open the station, I would like to do this interview again.
Would be
And,
great.
Boy,
Hey, maybe on the radio.
and maybe do it on the radio, yes, that would be fun. Thank
Good.
you for being here, Richard.
thank you for your
And
time.
thank you,
Thanks for having us,
Patrick.
Bob. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All